Another defeat against QPR. Middlesbrough now level in points, and all the anger seems to be directed towards one person in particular, and that is Doug King. Is that fair? Welcome back to Sky Blues Walk. We've got Jay and Ben back with us, and delighted to some extra special guests this week to give us their view on just why Coventry are about to bottle such the biggest lead that's ever been seen in the Championship. Welcome, Jodie, and welcome, Chris, to Sky Blues Walk. How are you, Jodie?
Yeah, not fun. I'm okay. Holding up.
Brilliant. And to you, Chris, are you as frustrated as every Coventry fan is on Twitter at the moment?
Yeah, I'm feeling better 24 hours later, though, obviously, because of things that have come to light since. So, but yeah, this time yesterday, I was in a pretty honking mood.
Okay. We'll jump into all of that in a second. Let's start off by looking at social media takes, as we usually do then. Chef Matt says, absolutely useless. All of you can walk home now, you spineless. Get well done, Doug. Nice one, mate. You've blown it. Biggest window forever, and you do absolutely nothing. There's the theme then, Ben. The blame is being directed towards Doug. So is that fair?
A lot of reactionary tweets there. I think that's why I stayed off the app for 24 hours and got my thoughts together. And I'm just where I was last week. I think that they're having a bit of a bad run away. As long as we keep getting results at home, and I'm sure we'll get points away this season. We've got some good home fixtures coming up. I think we'll be all right. I think we would have killed to be in this position this time, like at the start of the season, and there was always going to be a blip. It was never going to be plain sailing, and I think with Onyeka coming in, I think that will give us a lot more strength, because I don't think it's all the defence. I think the midfield is non-existent on transition. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of people that are pissed off and reacting to the performances, but when did we sort of like earn the right to win away at Norwich? We never win there. I suppose yesterday it was bad yesterday, but we just need to keep winning our home games, I think.
Yeah. Chris, some people are obviously pointing out you smashed QPR 7-1 in the reverse fixture and then go and lose 2-1, which is effectively the same team. Who do you blame?
I want to blame King. I've been really vocal about him over the course of last month, sorry. Obviously, the Onyeka signing will settle a lot of nerves, but I've seen a lot of Brentford fans who don't exactly have good things to say about him, which has kind of made some of the nerves come back a little bit for me now. I think, by and large, I don't want to blame Lampard. I love the man. We all love the man for what he's done. It's been an incredible season, but it's so cliche to say that he doesn't have a plan B, but he doesn't have a plan B. It's the constantly just like-for-like substitutions. When we're a goal down, he won't change anything. He won't change formation, tactics. It's just like yesterday when EMC went off, he didn't bring on the lad from Spurs that we've got on loan, and that's his natural position. He brings on another right winger instead. It's just I don't really understand his tactical decisions. I think he might just be a bit afraid to change. I think he's just a bit too set in his ways.
Yeah. Cheers for that, Chris. Jodie, some of the accusations online is that Lampard's clearly got his favourites and he's picking those players ahead of other people that perhaps would be better in that position or actually might be in better form. Do you subscribe to that view, or do you think that's just a bit of lazy journalism?
Well, it's weird because we've had players who've been suspended and then the players who've come in for them have done a decent job, like Latabodier, Wolverhampton. Obviously, they're not going to be your first choice centre-backs. However, they've done a good job. Bobby Thomas got sent off for being an absolute idiot. He should not have come straight back in this team because it's not teaching him any lesson. He's like, you can do what you want and you'll come straight back in. And that was a bit disappointing. And I thought that he hasn't, done anything really. He hasn't showered himself in glory in the last 2 games since his return. But yeah, I don't know if he's got his favourites, but it's like he's not settled. I don't know. We rotate every club, every team rotates, and that's fine because you have to rotate. But he'll start Wright, and Wright will have a great game, and then he'll play Sims, and then Sims will score a few goals, and then he'll drop him. And them two are not the type that need to rotate. They don't do a lot of work. they're not running around non-stop. They don't need to be rotated. So it's sometimes a bit, I don't really understand where some of his decisions come from. But yeah, I thought that a lot of the last 2 defeats, I'd put them on his door completely.
Yeah, thanks for that, both of you. Jay, the centre back pairing is getting a lot of hammering online. I don't know if you agree with this view. Heart of Darkness says, how bad must Wolfen's attitude and training be that he can't get into this defence ahead of the current Chuckle brothers at the back? Is that too harsh?
Where do we start? Yes and no. I'm a big fan of Bobby and a big fan of Kitch individually. I think they're good, solid championship players. Do I think they're top championship players? No. I've been crying out for the last few seasons for a statement centre back to come in. It hasn't obviously come in. They're both susceptible for mistakes. Kitch, I would say, obviously made the obvious mistake against Norwich on Monday. And then yesterday for the first goal, I'll put that on Kitch as well. He was a bit sort of reckless and sort of he had a bit of an aimless header, and he sort of just went flying to get the second ball when he should let Grimes sort of press. And there's just a massive gaping hole behind him as well. So it just feels like they're a bit headless at times as well. With Wolfenden, I've said this online. If I was him, I would either I'll put in a request to go on loan. If he can't get in at the moment, I get the feeling his sentiment was the lads are doing well. I can't get in. I'm going to sit on the bench. They've not been doing well for probably about 2 months now, I'd say. There's been a bit of petulance with Thomas as well, as Jody said. I would sort of, when he got sent off, I was fuming with him. Like, I sort of semi-don't mind when JD Silva got sent off because he was going for a tackle, a bit of a silly tackle, but what he did, and he sort of semi-did it again yesterday against Sato, they're getting a bit sort of, they're losing their sort of head a little bit. I wanted somebody to come in and sort of teach him a lesson, basically, and sort of claim that spot. I thought it would be Wolfenden. Wasn't really Wolfenden. I thought Latty did well when he was out. But if somebody can't get in ahead of them two at the moment, we've got problems. I don't think that centre-back pairing is strong enough to be... For a playoff team, yes. Auto's team, I don't think they are. And I know Ben is... we have this conversation quite often. I worry about the left side of our defence. Again, it was the sort of situation we had last year with De Silva and Kitchen when they were sort of displacing, and the decisions were very poor from both of them all individually. One of them, which created a lot of spaces and gaps. And we're creeping back into that sort of area at the moment as well. And it's very, very worrying. And I hope we get sent back, but it's very unlikely.
Cheers, Jay. That left-hand side thing was discussed again by lots of people. Ben Sakamoto's Penguin says, I agree with our left-back problem. Everyone has sussed out that Jay De Silva is small, so they target us down that side. Do you think there's a little bit of truth out that actually it's not that you've got worse, is that actually teams have got better at sussing you out, and that actually you don't play with much variety?
I disagree. I think we play with variety, but I do agree with Chris. I think Lampard has sort of lost his way a bit in regards to a plan B, because he was changing it when he first came in. We went to a 3 at the back and we changed things, and when it worked, it was great. But when he tried it didn't work. He just thought, I'm not doing that anymore. So I do think he's in a position where he's sort of stuck, and if he does, he does, and if he doesn't, he's damn sort of thing. So in regards to Jay De Silva, I do think that he is a target. He is a target, and it's been this way for a few years. But because he stepped up and started playing well, everyone just forgot about it. I would have gone out and got a left back in the summer, but without a doubt. I think you look at Thierry Small, who's gone to Preston. He's really good, and he's sort of the dynamic left back we needed really. That can get, because Jade, everyone says he's good at going forward, but is he really? He don't get any assists, does he? He doesn't score, so he isn't really, is he? And he's always a target to lump it on the left back, put it over his head and get in on the. There's so many fast wingers in this league, and sometimes he's made mincemeat of it, isn't he? But yeah, it is what it is now. We've got what we've got, and I think that the defence, I've said it before, I think that they need more help from the midfield, and that includes the fullbacks. Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be people in the comments typing now going, cheer up, you four, we're still top of the league, we've still got lots of home games, a decent opposition to come, so cheer up. We will, but we have to call out what's being said on social media. Jodie, one of the more controversial ones on social media is this one. I want to see if you give your view on it. Matt Evans says, where's the captain gone? That we saw before Christmas. He's been missing for now over a month or so, and please can you wipe that effing smirk off his face? Harsh, but Do you agree that Grimes isn't the same player that we perhaps saw 2 months ago?
Yes and no. It's harsh to target him, really. I don't think he's been very good. I think the problem is he's isolated and he's basically covering the whole back four at times. He's covering Jay, he's covering the centre backs, and then there's no one around him in the middle because they're all so far forward. He's literally on his own. He's probably knackered. He plays every single game. He's played every single game for like 10 years or something. I wouldn't mind him having a rest. I'm not against him being dropped and starting someone else. But I don't think it's actually his fault. Just like I don't actually blame the defence for some of our issues. I think what Chris said as well about it's the midfield. Everyone's attacking too much. The fullbacks are attacking too much. Everyone's attacking too much. We go 1-0 up. We're attacking still. Like that's where our problems is. And Grimes, he's just being exposed a little bit. And I don't think it's that he's not a good captain. I think he is a good captain. He's probably not angry enough. He's probably, you want someone maybe like Michael Doyle or, someone who's a bit more feisty. But that's not who he is, and we know that. So we haven't recruited someone like that. We've got Grimes, and he's a level head, and I think he is a good captain. I think that's a bit harsh.
Yeah, fair thing. Do you agree, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. Not really much I can add there. I think it always sounds like a bit of a cheap excuse to say, "Oh, he's tired," because then people say, "Oh, well, he's a professional athlete." He's not young. He's not a young lad. He's about 30, 31 years old, I think he is. And like Jody said, he's played every minute of every game. He needs a rest, but who steps in for him? I love Eccles. I think the hate that he gets online is just bizarre. It always works his socks off, but obviously he's not the same player as Grimes. I think that's the problem. Like you say, in the summer, we didn't sign anybody that could help Grimes out in the middle, and he's had to take on all of that responsibility himself.
Yeah. Transfer window is still open, of course, for 24 hours after the time of recording this. Just staying with you, Chris, you posted on here, amongst other things, 2 days to bring in Onenka and a new centre-back, or we can wave goodbye to it all. Just holding you to that comment, do you think it is that cutthroat that you need players in the next 24 hours, otherwise this is game over?
Yeah, I think obviously Wolfenden seemed like an all right signing at the time. 4 million was a lot to spend on him. Felt like a bit of a panic buy because obviously we chased Charlie Hughes for so long and then just weren't willing to pay what Hull wanted. And to be fair, 20 million was an insane amount of money to be paying for a championship defender. Who is there even out there available that can come in and do a better job than Thomas and Kitch? As much as they've got their issues, I just don't see. I keep seeing them like Kurt Zuma mentioned because he's recently left the Romanian league. I don't know who. The big problem for me is with King. I love Doug King. I love what he's coming and done, but he's not willing to break his own wage cap that he's inserted. We're not going to get the type of players that we need to come in if we're not going to pay them more than 25, 30 grand. Birmingham, I forget the name of the lad, but they've just signed somebody on 50 grand a week. I think that's the difference. If we don't go up next season, next season we're going to have to also compete with the likes of Wrexham overspending, Birmingham overspending, the three teams who come down. It's now or never, and he's going to have to go bust before 7 p.m. tomorrow.
Okay. Final one on this one here. Open conversation here. Seeing more of this kind of tweet, and this might just be fans that are just pretending to be Coventry fans online. But Mr. Flynn says Frank's lost the dressing room. He only picks his favourites and players have had enough, which would rhyme true with where we are with Radoni, Jay, I'm guessing. But maybe you want to throw the hat in the ring with that one?
Don't think he's lost the dressing room at all. We see pictures of him with players talking to them. He's going up to each one of them after the games and stuff. It's just the club's going through a bad period at the moment. Every club has this period as well. Ours is just very extended. I remember Leeds when they went up. I think they won 1 in 9 games when they went up. Leicester had the same problem around the same time. The year they went up, Ipswich had the same problem around the same time. they came second when they went up as well. We're just going through a rough patch at the moment. When you're going through rough patches, you're not going to be smiling and happy and sort of singing and dancing around, are you? The man's a winner. End of the day, he openly admits when we lose, he's pissed off. He doesn't like losing, and obviously, when he does the interviews after the games, he sort of gives the teams credit, but he's more pissed off that he's lost. You can tell he hates losing. He probably goes home vexed every time we have lost, and it's just probably bugging and grating on him. The man's the winner. He's won everything in football as a player, and he's worked hard to get where he is at the moment as well. He's probably just frustrated that these players are making silly, sloppy mistakes over and over again over the last 2 months. Things that they're working on. Again, obviously, over Christmas is very busy with them with matches, that they don't train as much, but they've had a good month of training with sort of a game a week at the moment. So they've probably been putting some good work on the training ground, and things are just messing up by silly decisions that players are making.
Yeah. Oxford then next, Jodie. Any changes to the starting 11 based on what you saw at QPR?
Well, I think EMC is going to be a forced one because it looks like he's going to be out. Well, I don't know how long, but it didn't look great. I don't know if I'd play Hadji on the left and play Sims up front. I feel like I didn't think much of Mini when he came on. I thought every time he touched the ball, he seemed to lose it. His first touch was awful, but it might have been the situation and the pitch, to be fair. But obviously, I don't know. Is it Onyeka? I don't know how to pronounce his name. The new guy, Onyeka. I don't know if he'll start. He probably won't start. I think I'd probably play Lampard. I don't know if I would change the back four actually against Oxford at home. I don't know whether I would. Here's me saying that earlier. I don't know if I'd keep them the same. But I'd play Josh. I don't know if I'd play Torp. I don't know. I haven't really given it a lot of thought. I just think that it's a must-win game, and I think we will win it. I'm not actually that worried about it, and that might sound really arrogant, but it's not that one I'm worried about. It's the Middlesbrough game I'm worried about.
We're all looking forward to that, of course, Monday night. We'll preview that on here next week, so join us for that one. Just a massive thank you to everyone before we move on to the extra time bit to say thank you for all the comments we had last week. Jay, you were here solo last week, of course, as well. King Collar says you were spot on there, Jay. We'll get back to winning ways. Jonah Fatcat says good breakdown on the midfield issues, Jay. Yeah, and then this one there, thank you, Michelle Shida. We've had midfield issues since 2023. We've never replaced Hamer. We proved that in times when other midfielders are in form and not fatigued, we can bypass this issue. Yeah, when the crap is hitting the fan, our centre mids are overworked or either being pulled through. Thanks for all your comments on that. Great little community we're building here. And if you haven't yet joined us, drop us a sub and a quick like. Well done, Jay. You'll be on, get you on that championship sofa on Sky soon. Talk much less nonsense than they do on there anyway. Right then, we're going to leave you. I'm going to leave you in the hands of Jay and Ben and Chris and Jodie to run the rule of a little bit of forensic detail over that QPR, and then Jay and Ben at the end of all of that will give their player for the letter N, if that's okay, fellas. As we get into the A to Z for N, I wish you a farewell and thank you very much for joining us on this particular. Just stay tuned. But here's where Sky Blues walk extra time.
Hi guys, welcome back to Sky Blues Extra, and we're going to sort of break down the QPR game now. Luckily, where do we start? Obviously, first half. There's a couple of points I sort of wrote down with that first half. First thing, only real sort of chance I think we created was probably the Rudoni header in the second minute. Carl Rushworth's save I thought was absolutely world class. We'll sort of discuss that a little bit as well. And Richard Coney, I thought up front for them as well. I thought he was fantastic. Ben, let's get kicked off here. What was your thoughts on the first half against Cuba? What did we do right? What did we do wrong? How did it all
I'm finding it hard to find words at the minute to sort of see where we're at and what's going wrong, because it's like overnight they've just lost the confidence away from home. I think, like Jodie said, the pitch was terrible, but we can't blame the pitch. It's the same for both teams. One thing I've noticed is the second balls, the start of the season, every second ball, Cov player. Now every second ball, whether it's in the box from the long throw-ins, from corners, from in central midfield, they win all the second balls, and you're going to be in trouble if you're not winning your second balls, because we're not great in transition as it is. So when the other teams are picking the second ball up, carving us open pretty quickly. I think the Onyeka thing will be really important for us, because I feel like if there's him and Grimes, that Grimes didn't sign up to be running about like he is, by the way. You know, he come from Swansea. He's like Chris said, he's a 30-year-old geezer, and he's played a lot of football over the years, and he's come here to try and get us over the line to promotion, and he's doing, feels like 25 miles a game. And I think with Onyeka sitting in a double pivot with him, it'll sort of free the three and then the striker to do better. I think Sims, I don't like slating anyone, but Sims was non-existent first half. His touch was so poor, and then the ball just kept coming back at us. And I feel like that was a big problem, to be honest. And we came out a bit better in the second half, didn't we? But it's annoying as well, because it reminds me of when Mark was here at the end. It was like they'd play terrible, they'd go in at half time, and then they'd be told, or they'd be given instruction, and they'd come out better. But it's like, come on, surely they can see what's going wrong on the pitch and they can address it themselves. And they had been doing, but recently, no.
I'd agree that I think a lot of games we were playing half. That's it. The Leicester game was quite similar and things like that. So Scotland, we like to do a few stats. So in that first half, we had 63% possession, which is one thing I want to sort of touch upon what you mentioned there, Ben. XG, I'm asking XG was 0.15, 6 shots, 0 on target, 205 passes compared to the 102. So one thing I want to sort of touch upon with yourself, Chris, the passes. I personally felt like we were playing a lot of sideward passes around the back like we used to do, and it's pass, go to Grimes, play it back, play it to fullback, play it back, hit the ball long. Sims wouldn't hold the ball up at all, and then kept coming back at all. So what was your sort of perception of that? Sort of, again, it was quite similar in the second half as well. We'll look at the second half possession stats in a moment as well. But what was your sort of thoughts about the way we built up? Because we created little to nothing apart from that one Rodoni chance in the second minute, which was about a 6-yard header.
Yeah, like you say, it's just there's the constant side passes, passing it back to Rushworth as well. I feel bad for him because, I mean, without Rushworth, we'd be mid-table this season, let's be honest. And the defence constantly put him under so much pressure, needless back passing, and the other team's forwards pressing him. And he's quite a lot of the time, he's only just getting the ball cleared, and it's straight back to the other team in the middle of the pitch. Grimes, I don't know what's happened to Grimes in terms of his passing, because when he came here, Swansea fans were like, oh, I hope you're looking forward to him passing it sideways and backwards. And he proved them wrong by being one of probably the best passer in the league. But he didn't look confident yesterday for me. I don't know if anybody else noticed that, but his distribution wasn't great. His corners have been awful. I don't know why the decision was made to take Rodoni off corners. Yeah, I think it's hard to find positives in that loss, but I think for me, the one positive, Rodoni is slowly starting to look like a player again.
I would agree with that. Again, I do find he's spending too much time on the wings, personally. Again, I saw a heat map from Paul Matthews on Twitter last season compared to this season, and he was a bit more sort of central at times, a lot on the wings as well, but he did look a lot sharper. I thought Eccles did very well. I thought the gaps in midfield looked a lot tighter. We didn't have these big raging gaps all over the place as well. Second half, again, obviously, before we move on to that, I thought the Rushford save from Kone, absolutely world class. I thought Kone was not phenomenal. He was really, really good. He sort of caused problems for our centre backs all game, and that chance came out of nowhere. He sort of pushed Kitchen out the way, and that save was absolutely world class. Which is, again, he sort of saved us there. Second half, it's again quite similar. 62% possession, 0.44% XG, 3 shots, 2 on target, 1 big chance, which obviously we scored from. 195 passes compared to 113 passes. So, Jody, break that second half down for us. What went wrong? We got that goal. We went ahead. I thought, again, we were probably slightly on top. I thought maybe it's fairly equal. But what happened up to that goal and then thereafter? Break that sort of second half down for us.
Yeah, it's really irritating because I thought actually the first half, I think our aim was to keep it tight. I think that's probably why we didn't push up so much in the first half, and I think the aim of the game, I thought, was to keep a clean sheet. That's how I saw it, and I thought they did quite well. Obviously, that save from Rushworth kept us in it then, but I just thought, okay, we've kept it tight. Now we're going to go out. And actually, I thought we had good control of the game and up until we scored. And the goal was really good. It's such great ball by Rodoni, great header by Josh. I mean, where I was sat, I couldn't quite see it go in, but I knew it'd gone in. But it was a really well worked goal. And I thought after that, this is where we now calm down. This is where maybe you bring an extra defender on, maybe you just shore it up. But no, yet again, pushing forward in big numbers, taking risks, and not really creating anything. But the gaps, it's like we got the confidence. We're like, it's fine now. We'll just push forward. We'll get another one. Rather than just sitting back. And that's something that we've had issues with. We did it on Monday night as well. And I was really, really frustrated because it was such an opportunity. QPR didn't look like they were going to create anything. And we just gifted them. We gifted them the first goal. That was just comedy. You know, it's all kitchen with a horrific header anyway. But then, like, you could have headed it to, I can't remember who was next one. Was it Grimes or was it Thomas? I don't know. But he didn't. It was just aimless. And then he runs forward, leaves a massive gap. Grimes just watches it. Jade Silva's playing the number 10 at this point. I don't know. he's way up the field. I'm like, what's going on? And it was like, it was a good goal. But, like, you look, the cross comes in and there's, like, 3 or 4 defenders in there. And the QPR player gets to it, scores. And you just, I don't know. I haven't watched the second goal back. I watched it live, but I haven't watched it back. But I just know it was down that side again, and it was just so. It was almost when it happened. I was like, okay, great, again, resigned to it.
Well, again, I was at the game myself, and I messaged one of my friends when we scored. All we got to do is keep a clean sheet now, a bit tongue in cheek, put a little winky smile on the message, and I knew we weren't going to keep a clean sheet. But unfortunately, it's as simple as that. Again, I've messaged Ben this as well. We need to get to a situation now. Again, beginning of the season, we scored 1 goal, we pushed for the second goal, we pushed for the third goal, pushed for the fourth goal, and it's working brilliantly. I can't remember who said it. I think it was the Leeds manager who said second half of the season is much harder to win games. We need to get in a position now, I feel, where we go away from home. If we're not winning the game, we're not losing the game. And that's a very, very key thing. We need to pick up points. And that could be a point here, a point there, maybe the odd win here and there as well, but just do not lose. That's it. I felt like we just gave the game away. As Jody mentioned, we got that goal and the gaps did open up again. The first goal was, I thought was terrible. Like I say, Jay was over here. Rodoni was in his left wing back position that Robbins used to play towards the end of his tenure as well. And then I just don't understand why. Obviously, the header was bad, but then he just had this rush of blood where he just goes again for the second ball, where he should have just left it to Grimes and he could reset, got back his position. Then Grimes was a bit sort of like in no man's land, and there's just holes everywhere. So that sort of brings me on to fullbacks for us. So obviously, we all know our fullbacks love attacking, they love going forward, which is great. The option's there for us, for them to get the ball out wide. Are we seeing the benefits of our fullbacks being so high? I don't think we are at the moment. I don't think Milan's been the same for the last couple of months at all. Obviously, he had this illness as well, but there's no attacking output at all. When are they getting to the byline, overlapping and getting crosses? I cannot remember that often happening at all. Ben, do you think there's much benefit of our attackers being so far forward, and should they maybe sort of step back a little bit and sort of close the gaps at the back to make us a little bit more solid? And yeah, as you mentioned earlier, Jay De Silva, I think he's very good at bringing the ball forward and getting us down the pitch a little bit, but there's nothing really in the final third there as well. And obviously, people are sort of exploiting that sort of gaps at the back, and the same with Milan on the other side as well, but not as much. What's your thoughts about that?
Well, I think Milan is getting forward and doing quite well on his side, but he can only do so much, really. I mean, when the amount of times the ball went across the box to the near post in an attacking sense, and there was just nobody there. Like the wait, whether it's Wright or Sins, they're just waiting for the ball to come over to the back post. They're not making positive runs to the front post, which as a striker is the first thing you should be doing when, say, the right back's got it and they're drilling in. And Jay, there's no point Jay going forward, really, is there? Because he can't. He's leaving us so isolated, and he's not really got any end product. I love Jay; he's great. He's got a great touch. He's a good player, but I think we need to shore it up now a bit more. And I did think Eccles did a good job tucking in behind the fullbacks a lot on yesterday. I thought he did a good job of that, but I don't really know. I think I would have went and got a left back. I would have went out and got a left back, but it's dried up, hasn't it? I think it's so hard to get players in the January window as well. So I think Onyenka coming in will hopefully help the fullbacks a little bit, going towards the last 16 games. But I think there's no need to panic, Jay. I think we keep winning our home games. I think that's potential 26 points if I'm not wrong.
Roughly, yeah.
That gets us to just below 90 points, and then I'm sure we'll pick up points away once we get over this. I think we've got we're stuck in a little sticky patch here, but I'm sure the lads will get through it. They've got us through this far to this great position. I think there's a lot of negativity seeping into the players from the fans. You can see it. So I think we just all need to get behind them now and just get through this last straight.
I agree. Chris, coming to you now. So we sort of touched on the midfield quite a lot. Now, attacking wise, I thought we created absolutely nothing against QPR. Not a bit more against Norwich. I think one problem is it's taking us too long to get the ball to our wingers and sort of isolating the fullbacks on a one-on-one basis. It always needs to be when we get the ball to a winger, it's sort of a 2-on-1, and then sort of the fullbacks sort of overlaps quite late in the day, and sort of the chance to manipulate that space disappears. Again, also we talk about strikers as well. Again, I've looked at what's the Norwich lad's name? He played up from the other day, beginning with the M. I thought he did really well against our centre backs. I thought Kane did really well against our centre backs as well. I just think when our two strikers came on, two strikers played on Saturday, there was nothing really from them. There's no sort of harrying the centre backs at all. What is the problem with the attack? Break it down for us, Chris. Why are we not sort of creating as many chances as we did in the first half of the season? Is it tactics? Is it slow play? Is it we're scared? What is it?
It's impossible to put your finger on, isn't it? Hadji, I could talk about Hadji and Ellis all day long. I've had a lot to say about them all season. I'm not a particular fan of either of them. I don't think it helps when Sims finally gets a good run of form, scores a few goals. I think he scored 3 in 5 or something like that. And then he just inexplicably gets dropped for Hadji again. He's quite clearly a confidence player, and constantly being in and out of the team isn't instilling any confidence in him. Hadji, I could talk to you all week about how lazy and arrogant and entitled I think Hadji is. I don't know what his problem is. Has he had his head turned by interest from abroad and from other teams? I don't know. You'd think if he wanted to move abroad, he'd put himself in the shop window a bit more, wouldn't you? And actually pull his finger out a bit more. I really don't know what to say. When we do get the ball in good positions, like you were saying about Van Uyck and Jay, we end up a lot of the time just turning around, and it very quickly ends up back in the middle of the pitch again. I'm a little bit lost for words. I don't know how to explain it. There's just what's changed. I don't know. So Rudoni was critical to so much of our attacking output last season, wasn't he? He was the best player in the league without a shadow of a doubt. And his bad long injury layoff this season has really, really hurt us. Who knows where we'd be if he hadn't have got injured. I'd really like to see Sims and Hadji play together, because it worked wonders under Robbins, didn't it? I don't know. Lampard's obviously got his ways, and a lot of managers like to only play one striker, but something's got to change. Something's got to give. He could hire a crack team of professionals to try and figure out what's going on with our attack, and I don't think they would. I'm bewildered. I really am.
I agree, Chris. I think that neither Hadji or Sims are suited to a one up top. They're not great at holding the ball up. They don't like the fight. I think that if you want to play them, then play them as a 2. I think, what have we got to lose now? Why don't we try a 5-3-2? Or do you know what I mean?
When we signed them, we were playing wing backs. We were playing two up top at the time. So that obviously changed where we started playing one up top and had them. They were originally both brought to be pairing, I guess, with obviously Matt Godden was there as well at the time, and I'm not sure if anyone else was there. So that's a brilliant point, actually. Obviously, Lampard liked Hadji up top. He hadn't played him on the left. I think maybe once or twice he played him on the left. Again, one thing I'm really frustrated. I'm going to sort of bring you on to the next point, which I saw a tweet by Jody yesterday, which I didn't reply to, just because, like Ben, I was trying to avoid Twitter as much as possible yesterday. But again, the first one, I absolutely love Frank Lampard, what he's done. I met Joe Edwards actually after the game yesterday. I did just thank him and sort of say, you guys have really sort of done well, elevated the club, which I thought was He's a lovely guy, Joe, yesterday. But the tactics of Frank Lampard, where you're just making a like-for-like subs all the time. He's done it the last couple of games. I remember after the Borough game, I thought that game was actually fantastic. I thought him and AD, and obviously Joe as well, it was a tactical battle throughout the game. There was like so many little tweaks and changes throughout the game where AD would make a change or a tactical switch, and then Lampard would do it as well. And I thought I really won this game at that point. But recently, I just think it's just like for like. But that brings me on to Jodie Turner's tweet, which I saw. When is it okay to criticise or question Frank Lampard? Personally, I don't think there's any issue with criticising somebody. But with Jodie, when you tweeted that, what were you trying to sort of get to? What was the point of that tweet? And again, I'm not saying it's a bad thing what you said, because I agree with it, because over the last 2 months, we've been doing the same thing over and over and over again and just getting the same results and banging our head against a wall, and it's just a like changes. So again, I'm all for criticising players, I'm all for criticising Frank Lampard as well, but I just wanted to get your sort of viewpoint on that particular tweet and your sort of view on Frank Lampard and tactics, etc. as well. Break it down for us.
I think it was mainly the Norwich game and the QPR game were so similar. You know, we went 1-0 up. We don't do anything different. We go 2-1 down. We make like for like subs. We don't really change anything. We don't try anything new. And I feel like when we started the season, we just all out attack. It was a great tactic. No one was expecting it, including us. And it was amazing. We couldn't sustain it. It wasn't sustainable. We knew that. However, we haven't really changed much apart from the fact that now the opposition knows we can't do that anymore because they nullify us. They don't allow it. They sit back comfortably, taking it all in, and then they hit us on the break and score, or look like they're going to score. So every week this is happening. At home, we're getting away with it because I don't know, we've got a great home record. The pitch suits us better, whatever. We get away with it at home. Away from home, it is not working, and we keep doing the same thing over and over again. And it's like, if we just started that game, I mean, it's really difficult to go 5 at the back or 3 at the back because we've got to accommodate all these wingers that we've got. So it's really tricky because, you play, who you playing at wing back? You got to play, I'm assuming, Milan. You playing Jay, I don't know. So you can't really accommodate them so much. So I get the in-game changes, in-game management, you can change things around, because bringing on Sims, and I would love Sims and Hadji, like I think Chris said that, I can't remember who said it, playing them both, not necessarily, I don't know if you'd play 4-4-2, I don't know, why not, try it, but I'd love to have them both on the pitch at the same time, having that goal threat from both of them. But it is literally just the fact that he seems to be picking not his favourites, I don't think that's right, he's picking what he thinks is the best team. But it isn't. Like, he's not looking at history. He's not looking at the last game. He's not saying, well, actually, Lampard probably deserves another game here. Sims has scored a couple. Maybe he should start. It doesn't always make sense. And I just think that he needs to be braver with his decisions.
It's predictable, isn't it?
Yeah. And the opposition predict it. They know what we're going to do.
I think you hit the nail on the head there. Again, we were all out attack. It was brilliant. I just think teams are basically setting up to defend against us and sort of closing the gaps. We're then playing too slow, then hitting the long ball. They get the ball back. It's down our end. And the transitions, we're falling down on transitions over and over and over again. The 2 goals the other day, again, it was sort of transition. They played it long and sort of got it behind us. And the second goal was exactly the same as well. Got it behind us and sort of utilised on it. When's the last time we've done that against another team? How often do we get behind teams and sort of get into those areas? I say get to the byline and sort of cut it in. Especially away from home, those last 2 games were really, really dire, I thought, tackling-wise in that case. But we'll come on to something hopefully a little bit more cheerier, transfers. So, it's trade secret. We film this on a Sunday night, so by the time this is out, it'll be an hour till the transfer window deadline. News is we're going to sign Frank Onyeka. I've never seen him play live personally. I've watched a lot of YouTube highlights, which obviously I could look good on YouTube highlights personally, but he looks exactly what we need. He looks like a big, strong lad, gets around the pitch. I saw Jonah Fatcat actually did a very good video on him, so go and watch that as well. I think it's mainly about AFCON, where his heat map was literally the whole pitch was just red where he's running around, which is brilliant, which is exactly what we need. He's got this long dangly leg that just gets his toe on every little ball, which is amazing. Break things up, and then he's got these. He can sort of get up the pitch as well. Ben, I think you've seen him play previously. What's your sort of thoughts on Onyeka, him coming in, and what's he going to do for the team?
I think he'll give us a sort of a new lease of life and a bit more stability in the central midfield. He's as Chris said, that the Brentford fans were saying that he weren't very good in this, and I did see that as well. But it's a different level. It's a totally different level. Someone who can look pretty average in the Premier League or bad can come into the Championship and look like a world beater. So, all that matters is that we get over the line. We'll worry about next season when we get to next season with a nice full bank account, because that's what matters at the end of the day, the stability of the club. So, I think he'll be a boost for the players. A new face coming in to help them. It'll be really good. I think he's going to add something what we need and give that defence a little bit more protection.
Again, with that point you made, I think that Cop sort of asked Brentford fans what they thought as well, and I just didn't read any replies. I just retweeted and just said it's basically on the same sort of thing. You look at their captain last season, Norgard. He's probably their best central midfield player, captain of the team. Now he's gone up a level to Arsenal. He's sitting on their bench. So there you go. That's all you really need to say. Brentford are a mid-table Premiership team, very stable in that league. We're sort of a top-end Championship team as well. So the levels are completely different. I definitely agree. If he drops down, I don't really care what Brentford players said. You look at Swansea players and what they said about Vic, and so on and so on. So we'll judge him when we see him. But again, from what I've seen, I think, he's spot on there. I'm going to ask this question to Jody as well. I'll give you a bit of time. But Chris, transfer window's open for another 24 hours as we speak. Things are quiet. There's no. I hate Twitter, but I'm a fiend for Twitter. I'm on there 24/7, checking here, then everywhere, checking Google for transfers. Cannot see anything at all. No ins, no outs. One point is he is our 26th player that is over the age of 21. We've either got to sell somebody or deregister somebody in the next 24 hours. If you are Doug King, if you are Frank Lampard, if you are Frank Lampard, what are you banging on Doug King's door for to get in and to get out of this team? Name names if you want to name names. Just mention positions as well. Obviously, try to be realistic. Don't say you're going to get rid of 5 players. You've got 24 hours. What would you do?
If I've only got to get rid of one player to get him in and registered, as much as it'll be sad to see him go, I think it'd be Bidwell for me. I just don't think he's been a great servant. He's always been happy to jump in and fill in where needed, but he hasn't got the legs for it anymore, has he? At this level, at the top of the Championship, pushing for the Premier League. If we get promoted, he's obviously going to be nowhere near the squad, the match day squad. Portsmouth were interested in him. I saw numbers floating around like 500,000. That'd be nice. I love bidders, I really do. But for the sake of the team and the sake of bringing somebody in, I'd let him go. Just to touch on what we were saying about Onyeka before, I've seen both sides of it in the last 24 hours or so. I've seen the hype packages of him at AFCON, and he looks amazing. Frank the Tank, they call him, and he looks like he's exactly what we need. And then I've seen people say that he runs around like a headless chicken. And to be honest, I think we probably need someone to run around like a headless chicken, because then that gives Grimes the chance to sit back and do what he does best and control the game and like in the engine room and be the calm, level-headed player that we need. It's exciting. With only 24 hours left to go, I think I echo pretty much what everybody's been saying. We need a new left back. I think that's the priority. A new centre back would be nice. Obviously, as we keep touching on, Frank's got his favourites. I don't think he wants to bring in a new centre back. I think he just wants to get the best out of Bobby and Kitch again, which I would preferably like to see. As Ben touched on, it's January. It's always a nightmare to bring in top players, especially for reasonable fees as well. I've seen us linked with Charlie Hughes again. Like it's just not going to happen. I've also seen us linked with Lascelles from Newcastle, which I think would be a really smart move. I'd really like to bring in someone like him. I'm not confident of us bringing anybody else in though. We've spent the best part of the last month trying to bring in one centre mid. It was looking great, like a week into January, wasn't it, when we brought in the 2 wingers and we were like, great, okay, he's getting business done nice and early, and then it's been crickets for the last 3 weeks. So yeah, I'm not particularly hopeful that we're going to get anybody else in. Anybody else on top of Onyeka now would be just a nice bonus.
You seem to have forgot about our superstar winger, Marcello.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, I forgot about him because nobody knew that we were buying him.
Yeah, so again, I'm personally hoping for that kind of thing. There's no noise anywhere, but hopefully Doug pulls out 1 or 2 as well. But the only concern then is, actually, we've got to get rid of one just to get Onyeka in. So maybe do you register a Brow or a Bidwell, get a new left back in as well. So I'd love a left back to come in, but then you need one probably to go out as well. Is that all possible within 24 hours? I'm not sure. We'll see. But same question to Jody as well. With the Marcello signing, our net spend for the whole of the season is £3.5 million, which is peanuts compared to what Borough has spent. Again, Borough tweeted, one of the journalists tweeted, they've missed out on Adam Armstrong. So when we look at any of it's unlikely they're going to bring anyone else in. Ipswich are looking to bring another striker in as well. So £3.5 million. First of all, do you think that's good enough for Doug's asset for a lot from fans, spending wise, come to games? I know you go home, away, any way possible. You're kitted out yourself and all the kids, spend a lot of money yourselves, as the other guys do as well, as I do. Do you think, first of all, £3.5 million is an acceptable level to demand automatic promotion from Frank Lampard? And second part of the question, what would you do? Obviously, ask Chris the question, what would you do ins and outs in this next 24 hours?
Yeah, I didn't realise what the net spend was. It doesn't sound like a lot, does it? And, when you compare to other teams, it maybe isn't good enough. But then you think, was that the priority this year? Was the priority getting the stadium, which we all were really appreciative of and we really were happy. And none of us saw us being top of the league in January. However, now that we're here, it just feels like this is the biggest opportunity. To be fair, yesterday I was fuming because of the game, the result, the points, everyone catching up on us, and I thought we weren't going to get Onyeka. I thought that's gone, and I was really like, I was fuming. Now that looks like it's going ahead, I'm a little bit happier. I don't think we'll get anyone else in. Like Chris says, I'm agreeing with Chris. I think Bidders will be off potentially, and he's the one that I would let go of. Although, again, I'm really sad about that. He's been a great servant. It would be nice to get a centre-half. I don't think we're getting anyone else. But we did get that guy last week out of the blue. You never know. But it's like the registered players thing. We'd have to either just drop one of the younger players and just not have them in the squad, or, get rid of them. And I don't think I just don't see it happening. But yeah, it'd be nice to get a centre-half, left back. But I'll be happy with Onyeka, hopefully. And that will get us over the line.
The thing is, if we get rid of Bidwell, no left back comes in. Our backup left back is then Brow.
Kane Kessler-Hayden.
That's KH.
Hayden as well.
Unanimously will all sort of say yes to that. So again, my thing as well. I know Jig on that COD pod sort of said it's time to sort of gamble. For me personally, I think it looks like we're getting Onyeka on a loan with the option to buy in the summer. Again, depending on promotions and other things, it looks like as well, which I'm sure we'll get more details shortly. But I personally would have liked a little bit more spend. I don't mind the loans personally myself, but a little bit more sort of a little more activity just to sort of push the bird out and sort of make sure we cover off all areas. We've got that left back to push Jay, we've got the centre back to push the 2 centre backs, make a statement as well. But again, I agree with you guys, Spot. I think Onyeka is going to be a massive plus for us, and that hopefully, fingers crossed, will set us down and do the job in that case. So hopefully, it's been a little bit of a glum-buddy program today, I'm not going to lie, with all this sort of negativity going around, which is understandable. But on to bigger and better things. Next game, Oxford United. Just looking at their results in the last 10 games, excluding the FA Cup, which they drew, they've won 2 out of the last 10. One was against Southampton away. The last last 7 games, they've won 1 game. Do you know who that was against?
Leicester,
yes. We're happy with that. We're giving that one. So with that record, they come to the CBS, which we've got a fantastic record at. What are your predictions? So Ben, what do you think is going to happen? What sort of team would you like to see come out there? And do you think we'll be sort of back to our best, our free-flowing attacking style? scoring tons and tons of goals.
I don't think we're probably going to see that for the rest of the season again now. I think that the lads are sort of on pins and they know how important every 3 points is. So I think it'll be a bit closer than it has been over the course of the season. Well, going off on a tangent here, but I do think there could be some more business happening tomorrow. Players come available on deadline day. Players want out. Players want to move. So don't think that it's over. There could be a bit more done tomorrow. Is it tomorrow or is it the day after?
It's it'll be Tuesday, so Monday, 7 p.m. Monday, which this show comes out at 6 o'clock, so it'll be like an hour left.
Yeah, so there could be more done. But anyway, yeah, I think we'll get the result against Oxford. I mean, I think I put my team out on Twitter before. I think that's what I'd go for, or I'd be hesitant to change it to a 3-5-2 or anything tomorrow. I think we'll stick to what we're good at home. I think it's a way that we should be mixing it up a bit and trying new things to get results, because I think once we get this monkey off our backs away from home and the lads can sort of relax a bit and start to play the football a bit more, I think we'll be all right. But I worked out before, if we win every home game, that's 26 points, which puts us on nearly 90. And this season, that'll probably be enough to win the league. We're obviously not going to win every home game, but we're not going to lose every away game either. So I think it's just time to just get behind the lads. Don't panic too much. They've done an unbelievable job to get where they're at. And we go and beat Oxford and everyone all of a sudden is saying, well, it's better now. And then if we go and beat Middlesbrough, it's all forgotten about and everyone's back singing, aren't they? So let's just calm.
Yes, I was hoping for a bit more of a cheery response there, but just Chris, coming on to you as well, just looking at the last few results. So they lost to Birmingham 2-0, beat Leicester 2-1, QPR 0-0, Bristol 0-0, MK Dons 1-1, won on pens, lost 2-1 to Ipswich, 1-0 to Swansea, they lost, beat Southampton 2-1. So very tight games, not a lot of goals in them. What is your prediction with this particular game going forward?
You know what I'd love more than anything? Just a clean sheet would be nice. Get a bit more confidence back into that back four and Rushworth. Prediction, I think they will score. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for us. I would just say, sod it, try Hayden at left back. I'd consider dropping, I don't know, you can't drop Thomas and Kitchen, one of the other, but I wouldn't. I'd probably Kitchen for Latabodier. And I'd stick with Rodoni. Think, as Jody said, it'll probably be too soon for Onyeka. So I'd start Eccles. Maybe on paper, this should be a nice, easy win. I don't want to be too arrogant about it. I would give Grimes a rest. I mean, this is the one game in the rest of our run, apart from when we eventually play Sheffield Wednesday. I think this is the one game that you could almost say is a guaranteed win. Not to disrespect Oxford at all. But yeah, I'd drop Grimes. I'd probably start Torp and Eccles. Try and be a little. I think this is the one game we can be a little bit experimental with. But I do think we'll win. I'd be stunned if we get a clean sheet though.
That would be a nice little surprise. I was stupid enough to say we were going to get a clean sheet on Saturday, which obviously didn't come to fruition at all. Talking about things we were stunned about, obviously penalties. Coventry City we've had one penalty all season. I saw a stat earlier that Oxford haven't had a penalty for over 600 days, which is amazing. Obviously, had a penalty shootout. Which what are the chances that they get a penalty against us on Saturday? Which hopefully
100%.
But yeah, it's almost sort of written in the stars itself. But again, Jody, yourself, one thing as well, Onyeka, hopefully he's in tomorrow, which will be Monday. The game on Saturday. I remember Kai Wagner went against Birmingham when he played against us, signed the day before, played and had a really brilliant game. And Onyeka has played for AFCON as well, so he should be match ready, match sharp, a nice sort of week of training. So hopefully, fingers crossed, he'll be available. And again, like you, I don't think it's a bad shout to give Grimes a bit of a break and maybe sort of put Onyeka there. Obviously not a ball-playing midfielder, we know, but he'll sort of break things up. But Jody, same sort of question to you. What do you think the squad's going to be? What sort of team would you like to see? Which I know is a bit of a different question. How do you see things going, I should say?
I do think we'll win. I feel like it's the perfect fixture coming off these 2 away games, and again, not wanting to be disrespectful or just assuming that we're just going to roll them over, but like it's not a particularly tricky fixture, is it? A home game against Oxford, you'd think will probably be all right. I really don't know what team. I want to know more about Mason Clark. I'm assuming he won't be playing. I don't think Minnie will play. I don't know who else will play on the who can we play on that wing, really?
The new lad could.
Yeah, but
Hello. He may not be match fit. That's the only problem. He hasn't played for a long time.
I don't think he is he?
Oh, hand might be forced though. You never, do you know?
Yeah.
Brown?
I think he'll play right. If he's going to play anyone, I think he'll play right on the left wing.
Yeah.
It's not a bad shout.
And he'll play Sims up front. I don't think it'll be much different to the starting lineup apart from the enforced changes. I think it might be the same starting 11-ish. Well, it's 10 of the 11. I think we'll win. I think if we get one early, I think we could. I reckon 3-0. I'm going for a clean sheet. I'm just going for it.
Crazy 12. 2 days. Luke says we're going to get a clean sheet, and then Chris says play Brown left wing. That's like 2 crazy stuff. You guys there, which is something. And then sort of we'll come to the end a little bit here. So I always like to look at games in 5-game sort of chunks, which is quite nice because beginning of February, end of February is 5 games. So February in total, 5 games. We've got Oxford at home, which is on Saturday. The week after on the Monday, we're playing obviously Borough at home for 2 home games. Then we're playing West Brom away. Their form is horrific at the moment. What are the chances that they pick up a bit of form before they play us? Then we're playing a tricky one. So we're playing that on the Saturday, West Brom. The Wednesday, we've then got Sheffield United away, which for me, that is a scary fixture. Away day, 3-game weekend, just a 3-game week away. Stoke, then at home, the return of Mr. Mark Robbins the Saturday after at home as well. So we've got 3 home games, 2 away games. Out of those, what are your prediction points-wise? So Oxford home, Borough home, West Brom away, Sheffield United away, Stoke home. Ben, go.
We want 3 points on Saturday. I mean, I want to win all the home games. I want to win all of our home games. I know Middlesbrough are on a great run of form, but there's no reason why we can't beat them at home. I mean, we always seem to beat them, don't we? But that's it. We're not winning now after I've said that. But I think Sheffield, I agree with Sheffield United. I think it's going to be a tough game. Have we got the edge over them mentally after beating them? Potentially, but it's a tough place to go, Bramall Lane. West Brom, they look awful. They look terrible. So that's a loss. Who was the last fixture?
Stoke.
It's going to be a really tough game, isn't it? Is that one at home? It's at home. Is it? We beat them away with the old red kick, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, I think we need to be winning all our home games. So I just is that 9? Take the 9 points. Anything else is a bonus.
West Brom. So we take the 9.3 home wins and West Brom.
I think we beat West Brom.
Okay, so we've got 12.
I don't think. I'm saying I expect. I'd like to win all the home games. But I'd take a point against Middlesbrough and I'd take a point against Sheffield United. Anything else is a bonus.
So basically, you haven't answered my question there, but that's great. We'll move on to Chris. Okay, Chris, what are your predictions with those games? Obviously, you can run through how you want, what are your points of predictions, how you think each game's going to go.
9 points. I'd like to say win all the home games, but I think Middlesbrough are going to come here with a lot of confidence, and that's going to be a tough game. Like as good as we've been at home all season. I'd take 9 points, no losses, win, 3 draws in the middle, and then a win. I'd be quite happy with that. And like I said about the Oxford game, give me a couple of clean sheets as well. I think that's just as important as getting a win at the minute. Well, as important as not losing is getting a clean sheet and building that confidence back up in the back 5 again.
That's fine. Okay, so that's good. And same question to you, Jody. What do you think is going to happen in those games individually, and what do you think the points total is?
I think worst case scenario 8 points. So the worst case scenario, we win Saturday, draw with Borough, draw with West Brom, lose to Sheffield United, and beat Stoke. But that's worst case scenario. So I think 8 minimum. But obviously, I'd like a few more than that.
That is fine. I personally am going 10. I'm being bold here. I'm going 10. 10 points. I think West Brom there for the taking, Oxford there for the taking. That's 6 points. I don't know where I've got the other points from, but I think the other games are really, really tricky. Borough normally feel confident against Borough at home, but their tails must be high. They've got they're playing Sheffield Wednesday before us on Monday. Actually, is their next game, which obviously
Sheffield United, isn't it?
Sheffield United, sorry, away as well. So at Bramall Lane, that's going to be a tricky game for them.
Very.
So hopefully that's going to be a tricky one. A few sendings off as well. A few injuries. Don't want to say that out loud, but they get knocked as well when it's worse. That's going to be a really, really tricky game. I think West Brom's taking Sheffield away. I just think, I don't know why I'm nervous about that one. And then Mark Robinson returned, always a tricky game, but we seem to have his sort of number at the moment. And so case as well. So I'm going 10 points there. And then sort of the final thing. We're first at the moment, 11 points for Borough. I personally think we're still going to promote it. Which team behind us or teams behind us are you currently most nervous about? Obviously Borough level points with us. Hull have come out of nowhere, but they're doing fantastically well on a really good run of wins at the moment. I'm not sure if you've seen their XG, the XG table. They're currently based on XG, which obviously we know is a nonsense. They're in the bottom 3 on XG. They've scored a hell of a lot more goals than they should have, and they've conceded a hell of a lot less goals than they should have as well. So if football plays on XG, they'll be in the bottom 3. So Ben, which teams do you think look most sort of likely to sort of pip us to this automatic position, and do you think we're going to do it?
I do think we're going to do it. I think there's logic behind the reason of it, as I've explained before. I'm only worried about Borough. I've watched enough of Ipswich. They're so inconsistent. I'm genuinely not too worried about them. But if you had to force my hand for who is the biggest threats, it is Borough and Ipswich. Obviously, what they're doing is a bit unsustainable. They're just gung-ho, and without being disrespectful, I don't think they've got enough.
Chris?
Yeah, I think it's hard to disagree with that. What really bugs me about Hull is they've had a fantastic window under a transfer embargo. They brought in 5 great players on free as free agents. I think 3 of them have got Premier League experience. That's the kind of players that we should have been looking to bring in. But anyway, yeah, Borough are the obvious one. I think we do it, but I think we do it in second. I think we finish second, and that's absolutely fine. Couldn't care less about winning the league as long as we get out of the league.
Yeah, I can see you got your Borough top on there as well, so I can see your reason there. And Jodie, same with you. Are we going to do it? And who are you most worried about?
The whole thing annoys me a little bit because they're making out it's some kind of fairy tale. Like Chris just said, they've signed 5 players in the window. Yeah, they're 3 players, but they're really good, experienced players. They can pay the wages. They're just because they've got an embargo. So it really irritates me. They're fan. Oh, look at us with our embargo coming out of nowhere. No, they've got a lot of players to pay a lot of wages. So I'm not having
backhanders. There's definitely brown envelopes involved in there.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm not having that from Hull. And even though XG isn't always an exact science, I do actually think there's something in it. In terms of like, if you're not creating loads and loads of chances, the goals will dry up. So I think that's quite an interesting stat that they're scoring more goals than they should be. That's not sustainable. They're not going to keep doing that, hopefully. I think they've gone on a good run, but I think they'll fall off. Ipswich, yeah, inconsistent, but they are quality. They've got quality, but I'm hoping that we can just stave them off a little bit. Middlesbrough, I don't think they'll sustain it either, to be honest. I think even 5 games ago, they've won the last 5 games. Before that, they didn't score in 4 or something, and they were a bit dicey. So everyone's going to go on a bad run. They're not going to keep winning. We thought we were going to keep winning, and it didn't happen because people go on bad runs. So if we can stop Borough's run next week, or the week on Monday, then who knows? They might go on a few games of not winning then. So it's just about phases in football. It won't. It's up and down. There's going to be loads of twists between now and the end of the season, and there's a long way still to go.
Yeah, it's a very long way. Just looking at the table here. So with Hull, going back to them, they've scored 9 more goals than they should have, based on XG, and they've conceded 12 goals less than they should have as well. So it's a 19-goal swing on there. So they're 22nd technically on the table at XG, which unfortunately is not played on XG because we'll be second, which I guess is a little bit worse. But I still think we're going to do it. And I think I personally go with Chris. I think we'll get second. The only way we'll get first is if Borough don't sign anyone more. I think they need a striker person. I've said that the whole window. I've been a bit nervous that they'll get a Joel Peru or a Adam Armstrong or sort of squad that would have done quite well in their team. But it looks like they're not signing anyone else. And I don't think I'm not a fan of Conway at all. He's had a good little run. His goal against Stoke was crap, and his the goal the other day went that fantastic as well. So again, they won't sustain that, I hope, as well. Ipswich, I think, as well, if they get a striker, that would make me a little bit more worried. I think they need a striker. But again, too inconsistent for my liking as well. I think we'll definitely do it. I think worst case scenario, second. I don't really care about winning the championship. First thing we need to do is secure playoff. Second thing we need to do is secure second. Then we'll worry about the title if that's sort of on the table at that point as well. So yeah, I think again, unanimous, guaranteed Coventry City are going to make it to the Premier League from us four, which is great. Any other things you guys want to bring up at all? Anything you want to sort of mention before we go?
I do think we'll win the league still.
Yeah,
that's fantastic in that case as well.
Jay, Doug King just put a statement out whinging about people leaving the game.
Another one.
Another one, really?
Oh, is that from? Somebody just tweeted it. Is that from yesterday?
I think that's the old one.
Oh, is it? Someone's just retweeted it then.
That would have been a bit rich coming out.
Somebody just retweeted it. Ignore me.
Yeah, well, hopefully by the time this comes out, we have signed obviously Frank Onyeka. We've hopefully signed Virgil van Dijk and Erling Haaland as well. And everyone's happy with Doug King. But on that note, again, hopefully the next program will be celebrating a win. Thanks to Jody and Chris for helping and coming in as well. Scott, hopefully he's not well at the moment, so hopefully he gets better very, very soon. He'll be out for a couple of weeks, so hope he's doing well as well. But on that note, Sky Blues, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Cheers, guys.